But I want to ask you the question, like, how did you start? Like, how was your journey into like the martial arts world?
Man, when I was a little kid, I wrestled a little bit, you know, in like elementary. But then in my high school, we didn't have wrestling, so I actually played soccer because that's what, you know, I had some friends that were playing. Hey, join the team. Okay. And then I did it. But it's funny, I was talking about Rico Rodriguez, our rival soccer team. He was also the wrestling coach at that high school. They had wrestling there. And
Wow,
Rico
that's a small
Rodriguez
world.
wrestled for him, you know. He's always trying to recruit one of our guys who was a heavyweight that played soccer. But my friend, he did some Muay Thai, like so he would show me in his house, and I never really had a mentor.
Yeah.
You know, like a place, like a really like legit place that I went to. Because it's like it's tricky, right? Finding the right environment, the right place where you feel you're aligned, right? That's why I always tell people like go to different places and then see what feels right.
Yeah.
Right.
'Cause, everybody's different. Some places might not feel right for you.
For you,
or
yeah.
some sports, some people come in, they'll try jiu-jitsu, they might not like it. But
Right.
then they try Muay Thai, they're like, oh my God, this is amazing. So you have to be open to like trying to experience it.
Yeah. So then after high school, I was right after high school. Like I was working at this restaurant, this fine dining restaurant, and these guys were inviting me to go do this jiu-jitsu thing, and I was like, and then I was like, all right, fine, I'll go. And my friend, he was much smaller than me. He armbarred me like 10 times. I said 10 times because I was like, I couldn't believe it. I was like, let's go again.
Yeah.
And I was like, I couldn't stop thinking about it after that. I was like, I got to learn this.
Yeah.
And then it was like they had their first UFC already, you know, but it was still like so early on, like nobody knew what it was.
That was like back in the day. Even like, were there even any like established schools? Or
no,
like,
there was no jiu-jitsu schools. It just happened to be that there was this guy. He was like a Navy SEAL, and he had trained with one of the Machado brothers, and he had started a class. I was in a smaller town called Santa Fe, New Mexico, and it just happened to be that he was in the town, and it just attracted all like the big or the main martial artists, like kind of like in that whole area, and they all ended up at that place.
That's cool. You get to train with like all the heavy hitters too.
Yeah, I was a kid, right? I was young. I was, you know, whatever. I was 17, 18. I was 18, 18. And then all the guys were like older, and I don't know. It was really great. Some wrestlers would come in. Yeah, but I fell in love with it. And then one of my, you know, one of the guys in that group, Amal Easton, ended up going to Brazil, and then he came back like 6 months later. And then started training in his garage every day. And then he took me to a couple tournaments.
That's sick.
And then I just, you know, I read like a book, like Think and Grow Rich, and I set my goals, and then that was it. I just never looked back.
Yeah, I definitely feel you on the journey, but that's amazing, especially coming from like back in the day when there wasn't any like established stuff, like learning everything and doing all that stuff.
It was interesting, right? Because you come back and people know what karate and like taekwondo was, right?
Yeah.
Maybe judo, you know?
Yeah.
But jiu-jitsu was like, what's jiu-jitsu, you know? Unless you watched those first like UFCs, right? But it was like so like underground of a thing. And then I was educating people on how it worked, right? In a street fight. Because it's not very like doesn't make
practical.
sense.
You can't like get someone in your guard on the concrete. You're gonna get your
but just, you know, and so back in those days it was different. It was like a fight club kind of thing.